and can learn from each other. And so we really wanted to make sure that everybody knows that the CEO roundtables, even though they kind of hit before the conference officially starts, it's definitely something that I think everybody stands to gain from as far as learning and idea exchanges go. So just wanted to hit on that. And then, of course, the ambassador's reception we talk about is for new members only. There's always room at the bar for people that aren't new members. And then, of course, the welcome reception, which we always make a point to. It's going to include everybody, and it's going to be a lovely time, and it's on site at the conference hotel. So.
Thanks, May.
All right, Blair.
So then Thursday, this is going to be a very full day for us. We start out with this cardio kickboxing workout for those interested. Then we're going to move into our breakfast and networking session within the exhibit hall. There's several hours there for our attendees to connect with our exhibitors and sponsors. And then here's where we will start with our educational programming. Our first speaker is Rajamanar. He's the Chief Marketing and Technology Officer, or I'm sorry, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer with Master. He's been working at that company for a number of years. All of our attendees are going to receive his book entitled Quantum Marketing. That's a nice little takeaway that you'll receive from Raja and his team. And that should be a very dynamic presentation. Following that, we will move into our innovation lab overviews. And I'm going to turn that over to May if she wants to touch on those, because we're very excited about these programs.
I do. I'm also very excited. So this is, again, we talked about just really trying to have ROI for everybody who attends. And in particular, right now we're offering 3 what we call innovation labs, and you can sign up for individual time slots, and you will get one-on-one sessions, or if you have a group from your company and you want to all go together, you can do it that way as well. But you'll get a specific time slot where you can meet with, so in the initial 11:30 to 12, we'll have our 3 innovation lab leaders talk to the group. We have 3 separate rooms so we can spread out, and they'll rotate through the rooms and just take 5 to 10 minutes to explain what they're doing. And honestly, the innovation labs, may only take 5 to 15 minutes for you to sit down with them during the actual innovation lab time. But the idea was that we created something that you could literally bring your laptop and walk away with having learned something and improved your business, made it more efficient, fix some marketing. So the innovation lab sessions that, Blair, you want to jump forward for just a second, and I'll talk about the innovation labs that we're going to be offering. So right now we have 3 innovation labs happening. One is Google My Business, and essentially a lot of our members haven't set up a Google My Business account. And what happens is, when you don't let the world know what you do, and you don't let Google know what you do, they're going to tell the world what it thinks you do. And so whatever's in the title of your company name may be your keywords, as opposed to finance or commercial equipment or whatever the case is. And so we have an expert coming in, Kyle Steele, who's going to help people set up, and it's a quick and easy process, but just help people get set up with the Google My Business. So you can just be in and out, but you'll walk away from this conference having done something that will significantly impact the bottom line for your business. And so he'll talk about how Google reads your page now and what you need to do with the Google My Business account. And then we have a digital marketing expert. Her name is Cheryl, and I cannot pronounce her last name, but she's from a company called Pearl Theory. And a lot of us do digital marketing already, where we post on LinkedIn and we post on Facebook. Cheryl's going to cover a bit more deeper how to actually get business from those posts and not just sit up and post, but also how to navigate the various digital landscape and be able to get a real takeaway, as in, now I have more people to target, or better, more efficient target marketing with my digital strategy. And then one of my favorite is our Operations Innovation Lab. And this is going to be run by 2 women that combined will kill me that I'm going to say this, have over 60 years of industry experience in commercial equipment finance. And they don't look a day over 20 years. Anyway, Tamara McCourt at U.S. Business Funding and Melissa Fisher, who's currently at Takeware Financial, have worked for a number of companies and have done operations and managed operations on everything from all the way in your front end sales team to documentation, to syndication, to funding, accounting. These ladies know their stuff and they are very excited and happy to help people come in. And you come in and you can say, hey, I have 4 people in my company and we're trying to get here. How do we fix this operation to be most efficient? So our Operations Innovation Lab, which is probably going to take a little bit longer than, say, setting up a Google My Business. Again, we'll have times for everybody to sign up if you're interested in doing this. You will walk away, though, again, with something that is tangible and improving your business and your bottom line. And that's really the goal here. So we're very excited about our Innovation Lab. Blair, I'm going to go back to the previous slide.
Thanks, May. Sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit.
Go ahead. No, I'm excited about it. Go ahead.
So after that, that's just a half-hour sort of sneak peek into those Innovation Lab sessions. And then we'll have a little networking break after those sessions. And then we'll come back for our lunch and annual meeting. Then that'll be a plenary session for us. And we'll go through sort of the state of NEFA. At that point, we're going to be sharing with you some of the updates as it relates to the nominations for the board of directors and those that have been elected. So in the next week or so, you should be receiving a notice from us that will allow you to vote for our future board members. And we're also going to have in there, we've amended some of the bylaws. So we're going to ask that you vote on those items as well. Effectively, the main item in there within our bylaws that we're looking to change is the process by which you can vote electronically for our board to doing some paper voting or ballots at the annual meeting. So we're trying to change that process just to make it a little more streamlined. And then following our lunch, we're going to move into our educational sessions. And I'm just going to go through the rest of the agenda now, and then we'll slide ahead with some of our next slides, and we'll touch on some other items, including the educational sessions. So there's 3 concurrent sessions that'll take place from 2 to 3 on Thursday. And then after that, we'll have a little networking break. And then 3:30 to 4:30, 3 more educational sessions that you can pick from. And then we'll move into our president's reception there in the exhibit hall from 4:30 to 5:30. And then we'll round out the day with our Chris Walker Education Fund fundraiser from 7 until 10 p.m. over at Fahrenheit Charlotte, which is this beautiful restaurant bar at a rooftop location overlooking the city. So we're very excited about that. May and Blair went and walked through that facility. May's from Charlotte, so she knows the area quite well. But we're very excited to have that event. And that'll be, as part of your registration fee, you have dinner. I guess in the past, we just had a reception on Thursday nights, and then people could go out on their own. And as I understood it, I'm relatively new with NEFA, just into it for about a year now. But many people, as I understood from the past, would take their contacts out to dinner Thursday night. And what we've done is, if you're interested, we have the option for you to secure a private table at our dinner. And there'll be some additional options for you if you do that, to invite some of your guests and have a private meal in one of our separate rooms. So we'll have more details available for you if you're interested. I know May and Blair were working on that, and that's something available. And we're trying to create a fundraiser here so that we can generate some funds for the Chris Walker Education Fund. And this is one of their main fundraisers of the year. So May, would you like to share anything?
I would. So one, Chad cut out for a second when he was talking about Raj Manar. Just so y'all know, he's the Chief Marketing Officer at MasterCard, which is pretty giant. And we're really excited about having him come speak, besides getting a copy of his book. He's just been on the forefront of marketing. And as we all know, marketing is something that will drive sales, and sales is what drives our bottom line. So we're very excited to bring in some outside speakers, some new topics. And of course, the Chris Walker Education Fund fundraiser, this is not like ever before. This is This is, as I said in the NEFA note or NEFA newsline, excuse me, this is a paparazzi worthy event. It is, it's going to be, the restaurant's beautiful. The food is fantastic. Blair and I ate there. I've eaten there many times. So the food is fantastic. The view of the city is incredible. The venue is fabulous, and we're doing a buyout. So it's going to be all NEFA. It's going to be all us. There'll be music. There'll be open bar. There'll be, like Chad said, dinner. And lenders, get ready to get a call from me soon, because we are definitely booking up tables for private dinners. And like I said, the food is fantastic there. And yeah, and it's just going to be a good time. It's indoor, outdoor venue, fire pits outside. I believe we have a sponsor for a cigar bar outside as well. So, and a percentage of proceeds are going to go to the Chris Walker Education Fund. I don't have the exact number, but I feel like it's about 30%. And then the rest is going to actually pay for the dinner. But we're working with the Chris Walker team to make sure that we invite, everybody's welcome. But there's certainly going to be some awesome upgrades, and I guess you get to see when you get there. So.
Thanks, May. I guess we can keep moving through the PowerPoint, but if there's any questions along the way from anyone that's participating, feel free to stop us and pose your questions. We're going to open this up at the end for an open discussion and a little bit of networking. So this is traditionally how we organize our virtual exchange series each month anyway. So moving on to our educational sessions, this is our lineup. These sessions here will be covered over a 2-hour period, Thursday afternoon. May, do you want to touch on these, or should I?
I'm happy to touch on some of them. Why don't you talk about the HR and DEI?
Okay, great. So we have an HR panel that we've organized. Camilla Manuel, number one, I love her accent. She's from London originally, and I think everyone will enjoy hearing her speak. But she is an HR consultant and part of the Society of Human Resource Management and on their board locally in Charlotte. So we found her to participate in our panel. Andre Olaf is on our committee, our planning committee. I'm not sure if he joined us yet today or not, but he may be.
Nobody also has a great accent.
Yes, agreed. And then we are looking for one final funding source panelist. We had someone in mind, and unfortunately they couldn't participate. So this is going to be sort of an overarching HR panel on onboarding and retention, competitive, how to retain your competitive talent, and then we'll touch on diversity, equity, and inclusion as well. So this should be a very highly sought after session because, as you know, in this day and age right now, it's very hard to find good people and even more challenging to keep them. So go ahead, May.
Oh, I was just going to mention that everybody knows there's a, hiring issue, and I feel like everybody, including me, suffers from a lot of burnout, and it's hard to, not just find good people, but train them. And then when you train them, how do you keep them from going and starting their own company or whatever? So we're really going to touch on, I think Andre is, I know we talked about it in the planning sessions. Andre is really there to kind of add the flavor of like the reality of what's going on in these businesses and things that we can do. And then of course we have our experts in human resources, but the idea, and then we also are going to touch on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is DE&I. And the idea there is hiring a more diverse crowd, besides the fact that it absolutely increases your perspective and, idea base for growing your company. You're also, meeting your customers. A lot of us work with very diverse customer groups, and, with the DE&I in your own office, you'll be able to, if you have Spanish speakers, you'll be able to serve a Spanish speaking market. That's one example, but you'll be able to meet your customers where they are. And whether it's by region or by age or by ethnicity or background, the idea of, including everybody within your company is a great way to help grow your customer base to be inclusive as well. So that was the thing we were going to talk about in the HR hiring panel. Excuse me. asset management and supply chain, for those of you that are in business right now, then every business is suffering from, OEMs have slowed manufacturing. There's price increases because of that, and we have a asset management expert coming in to talk about how to deal with some of the supply chain issues and selling assets, valuing assets, and something that is affecting every one of us right now. Chad, did you have more to add on that?
No, I think that's a nice overview.
Okay. Oh, and also, I was going to say, similarly, and for those of you who haven't read the NEFA note, Stephanie Hall wrote a lovely piece in this last edition about kind of what you can do on the lender side when you have no control over the asset supply chain, how you can work with your customers on financing options and figuring out how to, pre-fund or schedule, fund ahead, or just to still be able to get the funding and the equipment and the customer on your books, but managing the fact that those assets might not come in for 3 to 6 months, or the materials that they're looking for. So really interesting stuff. And then Tales from the Entrepreneur Trenches. This is a panel that I'm psyched about. Again, like I said, our goal was to have real takeaways for everybody where they could sit and understand and get some information and knowledge about how to grow their business and how to take those next steps and how to increase their bottom line and how to be more efficient. And we have 2 entrepreneurs on the panel right now, and we're adding a third. And I will let you know, hopefully later this week. Anyhow, the first is Michael Green from Dakota Financial. He's the chairman and founder, and he also has created a number of companies. He's built them, scaled them, sold them, and ideally that's the entrepreneurial path. I'm understanding that not everybody has the same path. Corey Dam as well, who's currently at Time Payment, again, built companies, scaled them, and made successful exits to sell them and move on. And kind of talking about, we'll be covering, and I'm going to be moderating that panel. So we'll be covering everything that we can on as far as the best books to read, what kind of outlook, how do you have a work-life balance when you're building a business. It's just going to be a lot of what I feel like our membership is looking for, which is, how do you avoid the golden handcuffs? How do you create something that you don't have to be there every single minute? And is that a measure of that real success? So I'm excited about the Tales from the Entrepreneur Trenches panel. And then we have a cybersecurity panel. Chad, you want to talk about this one?
Sure. So Dan Levin and Danielle Dola from Leventus have agreed to speak on this panel. And we're all facing these challenges today with cybersecurity related issues. I know we've had our fair share at NEFA since I joined the organization with phishing campaigns, trying to target our members, and emails going out, trying to get people to share their credit card information or payment information for these false business opportunities. So this panel is going to touch on just a myriad of subject areas under the cybersecurity umbrella that can help protect your business and secure your business moving forward. So again, we're trying to bring practical ideas and options to you for this conference. And I think cybersecurity, just protecting your assets are key, obviously. So I'm excited about this panel.
For sure.
Next up, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll introduce it and you jump on it.
Okay, go for it.
So next topic is understanding vendor perspective, user experience, and portals. So we were able to secure Greg Clark from Nortech, Brent Mills from JB&J Capital, Scott Wheeler, and Randy Smith from Sync Designs. And I'm excited about this panel as well because we have a very knowledgeable group coming to the table with different perspectives to talk about this this topic that many of you face and deal with every day. So go ahead, May. I'll turn it back over to you.
So I want to expand on that for sure. So obviously, a lot of us work with vendors directly, even not necessarily on the lender side, but certainly on the TPO side, and some of the lenders as well. And the idea on this panel is kind of how do you deliver what vendors want, and what is it that vendors actually want delivered, and then of course the technical mechanics. North Tech is great at that. How do you create a portal or something that works for both you and your vendor? And so I think this panel is very practical and applicable for all of us. And a lot of us still operate without technology, or without utilizing the technology as efficiently as we could. And it's always great. That handshake is great. That, bringing in the pizza or the lunches and training and meeting with people is always, there's nothing better than face-to-face, which is of course why we're having a conference. But understanding how to create a portal and really deliver a vendor experience that will keep your vendors coming back is the focus of this panel, and I think it's going to be very exciting.
Great. And then to round out our concurrent sessions, we have sort of part 2 of the commercial financing disclosures. And our speaker lineup includes Robert Hornby, Andy Alper, Kim King, Shervin Rashti. And this is a follow-up session from what we held last fall on this topic. And there have been many changes over the last 9 or so months as it relates to financing disclosures around the country. And this group's going to provide some updates and some practical takeaways on how to position your company to be prepared, either in those states where things are moving faster than other states, and from a federal perspective as well, just to make sure that I don't think it's there yet, but there's been, last I heard, listening to some ELF8 contacts, that there was some things moving through, or at least being discussed at the federal level as well. So anything else to add, May?
Nope, that's what it's about. It's hugely applicable to all of us, because not properly handling your disclosures can end you up with some hefty fines or some other penalties. So definitely worth attending or paying attention to.
Great. Claire, do you want to click to the next slide? Thank you. So on Friday, we start out with our Hair of the Dog breakfast and mimosa bar to try and get everyone back on track for our final half-day session. And then we'll do some networking in the exhibit hall as well. And then we will close with a gentleman by the name of Calvin Stovall, who is the president of Iconic Presentations. And his session will be covering how to be iconic and stand out in the marketplace. He's a very dynamic speaker. What Blair and I, when we hired him, loved about him and we shared with our committee was just his energy and how he's going to make this session fun. You may be asked to stand up. He may ask you to dance. Well, no, I'm not sure, but we'll see. But he's going to definitely have some music there, and it's going to be just a fun session. And we thought that would be a good way to sort of bookend our conference, to start with Raja Rajamanar from MasterCard, and then end with Calvin Stovall. And then after that, we're going to wrap the conference up probably around 11:30, 11:45 at the latest, with our final sort of random prize drawings that we have done historically in the past. And then everyone will be able to leave and jump on their flights home. So that's the plan. We will be announcing, by the way, our 2 conferences that we have planned for next year in March and October. During this conference, we're just doing some final review of one contract at the moment, but those will be announced at the conference as well, so you can plan accordingly for 2022. So with that, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, and I'll just touch on it. So we are taking your safety very seriously for this conference. We are taking different measures to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. So we're going to have these little comfort bracelets that'll be passed out and available on site that really denote how comfortable you are with close contact with people, handshakes, hugs, etc. They'll be color coded. So everyone will be asked to take one and wear it throughout the conference. So everyone else will have sort of a key by which they'll know how comfortable you are with any close contact with them. So that's one of the steps we're taking. We will have hand sanitizer throughout the conference. We're going to try and establish social distancing within the conference throughout the exhibit hall, as well as in the different sessions with how we set up our rooms. So that's another step. And then Bob Hanna is on with us. His firm is our mask sponsor. So you will have a mask available if you so choose to take one. And at the moment, according to the local North Carolina and Mecklenburg County rules, indoor masking is required. So that is something that we're planning on. We're going to follow, as an organization, all of the local and state guidelines. So whatever those happen to be when we are close to arriving, we're going to be communicating with our attendees so you are aware and you can plan accordingly. But we will have everything there on site for you if you happen to forget your mask. Not sure you'll be able to get too far with whatever airline you happen to fly. They'll require one anyway. So those are the steps that we're taking. We'll also have an app that everyone can connect with each other on. All of our materials and whatnot will be there. You'll be able to connect with the exhibitors and the sponsors. And we have a really cool new show floor for the exhibit hall where you can connect with our exhibitors in advance and read about their different services that they offer and connect with them on site with their various exhibit numbers through that mapping system. That's all on our event landing page presently. And I forgot to mention, if anyone wishes to be the sponsor of our comfort bracelets, they are available. So Blair wanted me to mention that. So those are available for you if anyone wishes to step up and be the sponsor there. And I think that may cover everything that May and I wanted to share with you. I apologize if my connection was a little spotty earlier. About 30 minutes before our call today, I lost power, and then May lost power about 15 minutes before our call. So we were scrambling to get on our hotspots and connect with you. So I'm glad everything worked out all right. And again, I apologize if my connection's been a little shaky, but we're at least able to get on with you. If you wish, we can just open things up. You can unmute yourselves. You can turn your cameras on. We're going to use sort of the balance of our time just to connect and catch up if anyone wishes. We can call on you too if you wish.
All right.
We caught everyone after lunch. They're quiet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for checking it in, and we encourage you to encourage other people to come to the conference as well if you're planning on coming. We have the capacity to have a lot of people, and we have a lot of people that are not members that you may talk to in your day that you may find that this is actually, it has some real takeaways for them as well. And so we hope that our members will certainly push the information out to non-members as well. And ideally we'll grow the group a bit. So, yeah.
Thanks, May.
Yeah,
we're currently, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I've got a dumb question only because I've got about 6 conferences I'm attending this quarter. Is there an online version of this conference? No, not in person.
We're presently with our guarantees at the hotel. Our board made the decision that we're going to have it in person.
Okay.
We are going to record everything and it'll be on demand afterwards. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we there's no way we can get out of our contractual obligations at this point after our lawyers reviewed everything and took a look at it. So that was the decision that our board made, at least at the moment. Yeah. Hopefully things don't go any further sideways with the variant, but we're monitoring it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, just for everyone's benefit, I've got about 5 events this quarter, and very low percentage are virtual. Everyone's getting out, so right. It's all positive right now.
Yeah, well, and I was going to add to. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to jump in because we were talking about this morning. There's 198 people registered already for this show. It's going to be large and in charge, and as long as we're all there, we might as well have a good time, right?
Exactly. Well, and just by comparison for the group, we were looking at options for us in 2023, and we were looking at various cities, one of which was Philadelphia, and we could not find a hotel in Philadelphia that could accommodate our group in the fall of 2023, in October or early November, which is very telling to me. That just says that a lot of organizations like ours and others out there are booking events next year and the following. So things are filling up quickly. We're seeing an uptick in the prices that hotels are charging for such things as well. So I think there's a supply and demand issue coming into play, and perhaps some of the hotels are charging a little bit more to make up for lost ground over the last 18 months as well. So I think that some of that may be playing out as well. But we're very close to signing an agreement for our fall conference next year. I think you're going to like the destination. I won't tip our hand yet. It'll be a surprise for October when we see you in person in Charlotte. And I will share with you, we picked our contract up from March of this year and moved it to March of next year for our finance summit. So that'll take place March 23 through 25 at Newport Beach. So we had to move our conference this year to a virtual platform. So we just moved that contract to next year. So more details on that coming after this show.
My question is on the dinner. Did I hear that the fee or the app included the dinner, or do I have to go in and register and do it?
Nick, I think you asked if the dinner was included in the registration fee. Yes.
It is.
Okay, so how do I end up donating more if I want to the fund?
I would say call Blair or Randy. But if you want to donate more, or if you want to sponsor something as a part of the donation, that would be awesome. And I would recommend you are welcome to call me as well, or you can call Blair, who's really doing all the hard labor here, right, in getting the sponsorships and getting everything lined up. But absolutely, and you're welcome to. Dinner's included for everybody, and then the upgrade for people that do want to, like, private table, or you want to add a sponsored event or a sponsored piece of it, would be to call Blair, and then Blair just put her number up, 609-206-7771. So yeah.
Thank you.
Princeton
Sure,
area
thank you,
code.
Nick.
That's a Princeton area code.
I think Blair went to Princeton.
Well,
Definitely. I can't get rid of my jersey number, and I have to keep it forever.
Chad, on the that dinner that night, I did see the private, whatever it is. What is it? I mean, kind of few words. What is it? Is it just a upgraded meal? There's a fleet of beers to pick from, or what is it a separate room, away from everybody else?
Yes. So
it is. So I'm going to answer that one, Chad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bob. So the space is large and it's spread out, but there's definitely separate sections, and there is going to be a private room for the private dinners. So you would be in the room with other people that are also hosting private tables. But if you're someone like Quality Leasing, where we normally go to a conference and we plan a dinner and we take our top clients out, we wanted a way, like I said, like 5 times already, but the food is fabulous here. It's very good. It's a place that I would have taken people to dinner anyway, and we ended up using this for our whole event for everybody. So there's going to be food for everybody in in the other rooms also. More like I think we're doing buffet style, but then we'll have like a seated dinner, and you'll be able to, purchase upgrades, purchase tickets, entertain clients, and you'll have your own spot for the evening where you can meet with your people specifically. So if you're interested, again, call Blair, 609-206-7771 from Princeton.
Okay. That could be a Rider University. I just thought it was a little, Lewis and I were looking at it, and I'm like, he's like, we're in a room, and like, we're going to have Chateaubriand for, and then we're going to have lobster and stuff. And everyone's going to sit there eating French toast.
Yeah, I would say the food's going to be great for everybody, but the private dinner section is definitely going to be an upgrade. And again, it's not just about like it's the idea is keeping everybody, being inclusive for everybody, but still having some exclusivity for those of us that really want to treat our good clients well. And then you can always add upgrades, and we'll work with you in the restaurant on that too. If you do want to have, bottles of champagne or something else there, we're happy to charge you for it and get it done. So yay.
Okay.
And a percentage, like I said, we're going to make sure that the Chris Walker Education Fund walks away with a good amount of money as well, which is the goal. It's still their fundraiser, and obviously it's a networking event. So
Okay, cool.
Right. We're trying to generate 10,000 for the Chris Walker Fund that night. So collectively, between the sponsorships that are specifically for this event and the dinner service, the private tables and whatnot. So this is one of their major fundraisers. So Blair and I started talking to Randy several months ago about this and decided it made sense to team up and try it. I mean, we don't know what to expect. We're just trying something new here. And we're just trying to keep our group together. So there's going to be several hundred people that will be at this dinner, and it'll be going towards a great cause. So sort of in my mind, everyone wins.
I would say Blair just noted in the chat. So tickets for the upgraded dinner, it's $150 per person. And then again, Bob, if you want to add additional upgrades, I'll make sure it happens. But I was going to say the $150 per person, we originally were going to sell tables of 10, and then we realized there are some lenders that are coming with like just one rep, and they may want to have a table for 4. So we're gonna sell it till we sell it out, basically. So if it's first come first serve on that. So if you have if you're someone like Channel Partners, who I don't think is actually on this call, I was going to pick on them, who generally brings a large group of people already. Right. And then they want to add more, if you want a table for 20, I know Quality just, took 15 people out last week. So there's, if you want to add more, you can. And if it's just, you and a couple other clients, that's fine as well. The idea of pricing it like per person was that there's no bulk buying discount. It's just, if you want to have a private dinner and be able to have some quiet space where you can actually have conversation. Not that you can in another spot, but where you can have a targeted audience, I'll say. I definitely think it's worth it. And $150 per person on an open bar dinner already is great. So.
What? No drink tickets?
No.
I always bring that up.
We've abandoned them.
I think you should print some, Bob, and just hand them out and be like,
I'm gonna go to Staples and buy a bunch of red tickets.
Right.
Do it. Get a logo on them, though. That's the idea. You put your logo on them and then hand them out, and then everybody will start handing them drink tickets.
Maybe get Nick to sponsor them.
Right.
Drink tickets for nowhere.
Not something I want to.
Awesome.
Nick, I still miss those brown bears. I have one on my shelf here. I gotta bring those back out.
Different company now.
That was a long time ago.
So anyone else that's on, any other questions or feedback on what we have planned so far?
I'm just going to say thank you all for attending, and I hope that you all also attend the conference and that you tell everybody what a fabulous event it's going to be, because it will be. And that, we can all get together and have a great time and learn a lot and have lots of practical takeaways to grow businesses and bottom lines. So thanks.
All said, May. Thanks, everyone. We will be sharing this in our future marketing notices for anyone that missed it. So it's being recorded. Take care. Have a good afternoon.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.